Hello and welcome. My name is Kelly. I am the owner of Dogkind Training. We specialize in confidence building for very fearful dogs. Today I'll be talking about a topic that I probably get the most requests about, which is how do I help my dog learn to enjoy walks when they're too afraid to either leave the house to go on a walk, or when they are out on walks they freeze up or try to run home. My dog is afraid of walks. Getting your training unstuck is today's topic. Who is this for? This is for you if your dog is afraid to leave the house for a walk, or maybe they will go out, but then they'll freeze up or they'll pull back toward home, and you're trying to use treats, but you're still stuck and you're just not making progress. So the most frequent question I get about this is, what am I doing wrong? I thought I was supposed to use treats and positive reinforcement, but my dog seems to remain afraid of walks. The most common mistake I see when someone finds themselves in the situation with their sensitive dog is that you're trying to train in a context that is too difficult for your dog, and you need to back up to a much easier version of going for a walk. And kind of related, but a little bit different, is that a lot of people, once they have success at one step in training, they increase difficulty way too quickly. They get quote unquote a little bit greedy in what they're asking their dog for, and then their dog becomes more afraid of the training context and the walking context, and then you actually not only stop making progress, but sometimes you actually lose ground in the training. So how do you know if your training context is too difficult, if you're asking too much of your dog right now? Here are some things to ask yourself. During training, does my dog show any anxious body language? Does my dog refuse treats or eat inconsistently? Does my dog struggle to respond to cues that they know well, say in the house? And does my dog frequently need encouragement to continue walking? Maybe food lures or clapping your hands, talking to your dog, even pulling on the leash? If you answer yes to any of these, there's a good chance that you're asking a little too much of your dog, and that's why you're not able to make progress with them. In order to get unstuck in this training, getting your dog to walk happily, you need to know a few things. The first is how to distinguish between your dog's relaxed body language and stressed body language. This is something that is really a skill and can take some time and practice to learn. I have an online workshop on body language and learning to read body language. I'll put the link for that wherever you're watching this video. You need to know in what contexts and locations your dog looks completely relaxed right now, where your dog eats treats readily, and where will your dog walk happily with you without extra encouragement, like those food lures or the talking or the pulling on the leash. If you can identify these three things, these last three things here, then you know where you should train. That's where you should be training right now, wherever your dog already looks relaxed, where they will eat treats readily, and where your dog will walk happily with you without those extra encouragements. Now, often an objection I hear when I'm talking about this, finding that place to train where your dog is really relaxed, is that, well, my dog is never really relaxed outside and they won't eat treats outside. If that sounds like your dog, then outside is probably too challenging for them right now. And instead, you need to work on walking together in the house and then perhaps, quote unquote, outdoors adjacent. So can they be indoors with the door open so they can see and hear outdoor sights and sounds, but not actually be outside? Sometimes another good option is working in a garage. If you have a garage that you can just kind of crack the garage door open, or maybe have it open all the way, depending on your dog's comfort level. These are ways that you can work on leash walking in contexts that are probably a little less scary than just being outside in the neighborhood. Now, here are some example steps to give you a feeling for what I'm talking about. With Turnip, you may have seen her in some of our other training videos. She is a very fearful dog. When we started working together, she would not leave the house at all. Also couldn't have a leash put on, so that's something we had to work on first. And here are some of the steps we included in her training. We worked on her walking on leash just in the house. So could she move with her mom in the house on leash? And then could she do that on the porch and in the backyard before we started working on walking down the sidewalk? Here are a few clips to show you some of that. So here is Turnip in the house. In the living room, she's just working on walking on leash in the living room. If your dog can't do this, then there's a good chance they're not going to be successful outside. And here's Turnip practicing the same skill out on the porch. So This is getting to be sort of normal walk location adjacent. The sidewalk is just down the hill there. But that was too hard at this stage, so we needed to work on walking together on the porch first. And finally, another version of outdoor walking that wasn't yet in the neighborhood was out in the backyard. So here's Turnip doing some early steps outside, just really brief on-leash walking with her mom. So in summary, if you're stuck in your training, trying to get your dog comfortable going on walks with you, check if the context is too difficult. Watch for nervous body language, for hesitation to eat or refusal to eat. Make note of whether or not you need to encourage your dog to keep going or if they're happy to keep going on their own. And then train wherever your dog doesn't show any of these signs. In this photo here on the right is my little guy Pancake, who started out where many of your dogs are now, afraid to even leave the house, much less walk outside. And he is now an experienced hiker. I hope this helped. I would love to get feedback from you. If you're looking for additional tips or if some of these were helpful, let me know wherever you're watching this video. Don't forget to sign up to be invited to some free live workshops I am teaching in late August 2024 on confidence building in fearful dogs. You can get on the list at dogkindtraining.com/confidence, and then you'll get an email invite to sign up for those workshops. Okay, everyone, I hope your next training session is successful, and I will see you next week.